Hey, everybody, welcome. It is Tuesday morning and it's time for another edition of Trash Talk. Gosh, can you
Yeah.
believe we're into April already?
No, I actually didn't know that.
Man, the beginning of April already this
It's
year.
weird, right? Hey, we got the eclipse coming up.
Yeah, yeah. And they say what if you don't catch it this time, it'll be another 50 or 60 years.
I think it's 100, actually.
Oh, really? More?
I
Oh,
could be dead wrong, but I feel like it was 100. I felt like I said, I've got to catch this one because unless I'm a vampire, I ain't going to be here.
yeah. And you got to go get the special glasses or
I
something,
got mine.
huh?
I got mine already.
You ready? All right.
Yeah, so we have there's a wine out that they're doing for the eclipse by Spellbound. And when you buy the wine, you get the glasses.
Oh, now
Um,
that's a great hook. You know,
Perfect, right? Perfect, right?
yeah.
And then so I got some, but I guess school's in session that day. Because I was going to hang out with Luke, and then I was like, oh, wait a minute, they're doing a whole big thing at school to go see it. So I'm excited about it. It'll be fun.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. Hey, we were also talking about the opening of Tupps Brewery here
Yeah,
in the area, McKinney, and I mean,
yeah.
when I just started seeing some of the statistics, I thought, ain't no way that I'm reading this right. It's like multi-million-dollar facility, and what was once just a pretty good sized brewery now is going to be almost like a Disneyland for beer.
It is, and you got to think these guys started brewing in their garage. I mean, those guys started coming up with beers in the garage and having hundreds of people come to get their beer. And then they got the beautiful facility in McKinney. And that's what was part of the charm of Tupps. You go there in the wintertime, you freeze. You go there in the summertime, you sweat. But, I remember going there years ago, meeting Keith, the owner of Tupps, and great guy, right when they first opened, and we were gonna do something together. And I went there in like August or something like this, and I'm, you know, the family at the time I was married, and they were all out of town, so it was just me, Brandon, going, "What am I gonna do today? I'm gonna go drink." And went to Tupps, and they only had like four beers on tap, five, I think, at the time. And he introduced me to all of them, showed me the facility. We talked. We ended up planning an event together at the bar I was working at. And ever since then, Tupps has been a major part of my life with a lot of things. I mean, so supportive and just great people. Nick, Chase, Matt, Keith. I could go on. And I love those guys. And now man, that facility in McKinney is exactly what you said. It is a destination. It is a beer Disneyland that is so much more. The supporting cast of this, besides the beer, they've got these silos around them, like old grain silos that are now going to be vendors. They are going to have a guy there that's going to hand roll cigars and sell them out of there. They are going to have a coffee roaster. I mean, everything they're saying makes me sound. It sounds like paradise. Beer, cigars, and coffee roasters.
It's interesting because just to set this up a little bit for the people that are outside the North Texas area that are following us, this, as you said, was just a local out of the garage beer maker that did well and expanded a little bit. And the facility that they've been in for what, 10 or more years is like an old factory,
Oh yeah,
reconverted factory.
it's the old cotton mill.
Okay. And I mean, it was inviting and the public loved
Oh
it.
yeah,
But they were busting at the seams. And so they wanted to expand that facility, and they went to the city, and the city basically said, what? No?
I don't know the ins and outs. I'll say this. I'll say there was some hesitation and some complications, as there is whenever you're dealing with any city. And I know that they definitely didn't want to leave McKinney. That was their home. They fell in love with it.
Yeah,
They do a lot for that city. Outside of bringing business, they do a lot. They do a lot of charity work. They do a lot of fundraisers. Like
a
they
lot
are
of
very
festival stuff.
yes, very committed. They talked to a sister city, aka Frisco. I don't know what happened there, but I imagine that McKinney's like, no, 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 no. And now they came to this amazing deal. And I can tell you after going there, wow. Again, take the beer out of it. They've got a full-blown restaurant. They've got an art gallery outside. They've got these beautiful structures. They've got these event rooms. They've got live music. Like, and it's beautiful. And the cool thing is, what I love about Tupps is everything there is usable. That's been there. We don't want to get rid of these giant old silos, and
Right.
we want to fix part of that. We want to
Repurpose. Yeah.
repurpose it, and they're very into that. And I think that's what separates them from a lot of people. Until you get into the actual brewery, to the brew room itself, then it's spick and span, spanking new and gorgeous, giant vats and controlled on this iPad of it's like the Death Star. Like I remember Nick took me up there to see the control panel, and I was like, I just feel like I should launch a missile from here. Like, um, but it's interesting though, you think about that and you think about in a time and age where, COVID really hurt a lot of the breweries, and you and I talked about that.
Sure. Sure.
Um, We've lost some recently. Ingenious just closed, and Beer Works out in Fort Worth closed. There is a change in the craft beer scene right now. I think we'll have some more unfortunate victims. And I hate to say this though, but it's actually good for the craft beer scene in Texas. Not that I want to see anybody lose their job or any their passion, but clean up some of the ones that aren't doing so good, and let's let the cream
Yeah.
rise to the
The
top.
old
And
survival of the fittest theory.
I'm going to say that Tupps has got to be the biggest, and they're only going to get bigger. The biggest brewery in DFW area, in my opinion. You've got big guys like Martin House that are still small. Yeah, they're big, but they're small. They crank out beer, but they're small. You've got some other guys around here. Celestial Beer Works is super small, and they sell a lot of beer, but they're super small. But now I think you're going to have Tupps, and I think you're going to have Rollertown are going to be the big boys. Rollertown's coming to Frisco. They've already started to do some work just down the street from me. I mean, I could throw a football there if I had talent. Um, you know, and it's so I think we're seeing that change. And instead of just saying, here's some beer and here's some music, they're making a mecca out of it. And I think that's kind of key to survival.
Well, yeah, it's kind of it's progress. I mean, look what's happened with a lot of the movie theaters. Now Cinemark and Flicks, Brewhouse, and all of those, they've kind of put the food and the cinema thing together, like the studio movie grills and things like that, and turned that into a dining movie experience too.
100%, 100%.
And all.
Yeah.
But the thing that's amazing about Tupps is that, I mean, the new facility is what, about 2 square blocks or something? The whole area, it's huge. But they're only in Texas, and
Yeah.
did you say Oklahoma?
Yeah, I think they've got some Oklahoma, but not all of Oklahoma either. And again,
Yeah,
if guys from Tupps are out there and I'm misquoting you, let me know. But I'm pretty sure it's like Oklahoma, but not all of Oklahoma.
right, right.
Texas being the central, they're not in any other state.
And they're very, very content with, instead of building breweries all around the country and all, and adding to their expense side, what they've done is created this mecca right here in the hometown where they started and all. And now they're reaching out and saying, hey, folks, when you come down to North Texas, and all, for sports and for all these other events that are going on, we've got this destination over here
Sure.
where you can come and eat and sleep and enjoy and shop and have a good time and listen to music. That it's all centrally located, and I think that's what a lot of people are looking for. They don't want to have to travel from city to city to see
No.
things. They want to park the car once and stay in a hotel and have places to go.
And that's what's kind of cool about it too. Yeah, I was thinking that like when I think about doing trips and day trips or weekend trips, I don't want to sit here and be like, hey, this Saturday we're going to go to this city, this
A
Sunday. I
one
want to
and
go
done,
to,
yeah.
yeah, I want to go to this city and we're going to just chill out here in this couple days and do what we can. So now you look at it from a McKinney perspective and people that are coming all across Texas, but also coming into town for those other large events. Maybe FC Dallas. You have the World Cup coming up here.
By
Uh,
PGA,
PGA, you've got, and then friends and family and all that. Maybe people are looking to move.
yeah,
You go to Tupps. Number one, right across the street. They're renovating this old building into a hotel, a boutique hotel. Perfect, right?
yep.
You could stay there. You go spend the day at Tupps. You eat in a full restaurant. You check out the shops. You drink some great beer. You watch live music. Then you could take the trolley or walk, it's not far, to McKinney Square, and
Right.
now you've got shops
Antique
and
shops and
restaurants,
boutiques,
antiquing
restaurants,
and
yeah.
festivals, and you don't even have to leave McKinney. That is a beautiful weekend trip. That's a trip where I could even, as funny as it sounds, be like, let's go get a hotel room, and I'm just going to stay across the street from Tufts, and Luke and I are just going to chill. It's
Yeah.
inexpensive. It's away from our city, and it's something fun. And I think that's what Frisco is doing here. You could do it in Frisco. You can go to the Star. You can go to FC Dallas. You can go to the Rough Riders. You can go to the mall. You
The
can,
museums.
the
Yeah.
museums, the National Video Game Museum, the Train Museum, soon to be Universal. So I understand that. And I think now Tufts has become a figure that, or a place that not just beer nerds are going to go, but you got a lot of potential there. And I think it's great.
Yeah, and one of the key items is that it's family friendly. This is not
100%.
an adult destination. When we say sports and sporting events and things like that, there is so much for kids to do.
Oh, geez, give me a break. So much. I mean, that Universal alone, which is geared towards kids, but
Right.
even looking at the Tupps location, they have a whole area outside for kids to be loud, to make music, to art, to play. And this is all an evolving project, like, yes, they're open. Yes, you can go there. They're not at 100% yet. They're at 100% eat, drink, and hang out. But some of these other things are being added. Man, it's curious to see what's going to come and what's going to happen, not just at Tupps, but like when Rollertown has their facility right here, that's going to be another big one. How are they going to incorporate? Because I'm sorry, you have to incorporate the families. I know people are like, I don't want kids at the brewery. Well, a brewery is not going to survive if you don't have an opportunity for people to bring their kids at least for a little bit.
Yeah, and I think that's the game plan with a lot of these facilities too, is they don't want well, dad will go over to the brewery and mom will take the kids to a miniature golf course, or
No,
it's getting the whole family and having multiple things to do within one location. I mean, even
yeah,
at PGA, while the main draw there is to play golf on championship courses, they've got all kinds of other, things going on around the PGA area. And soon they will have the Universal facility and Peppa Pig Park and all of that. That's just basically right in the same neighborhood too. And the model that they're doing around here too is being done around the country. I think a lot of major metropolitan areas are starting to say, rather than people having to go 20 miles in any direction to see anything, they're trying to, build up this family friendly,
sure,
check in once for 3-4 days, enjoy
100%.
yourself, and head out. It's
Well, the thing is too, you got to think about this too. You got to grow with anything in life, right? The show's
sure.
got to grow. What we do as human beings, we have to grow. If you don't grow, you're dying. Um, and we can get stuck. So cities can get stuck. And despite challenges and all that, I look at Detroit. Now, Detroit has grown. Well, if you've never been there, or if you're only hearing what you know from history, then you don't know that. But I've been recently, and it has grown. Unfortunately, it's a very slow turtle process,
Right.
but it has grown. If so, I think a lot of these other cities are looking at it going, we have to grow. But we also have to be conscious of what's going on in the world, what's going on in the economy, and people don't have the money to sit there and go to one city and then drive 20, 30 miles to another city and stay somewhere. And so let's keep them here. How do we keep them in our city, or at least in this radius?
Right.
That's what you have to do, you know?
And that's the opportunity that a lot of the major cities in the country have, is that they've got areas that they want to refurbish, as long as it's a good partnership between, private enterprise and the city government, so that they don't get mired in red tape and all, and they can move forward
Sure.
with these. I remember Baltimore is now having, some issues again, but
Nobody going
a
to
couple
Baltimore.
decades ago, you didn't even want to go to the inner city of Baltimore
You still don't.
at any time. They redid the whole river, the waterfront area, and it was great. Now, unfortunately, I'm not sure how well they're managing it, and it
They're
seems to
not.
be kind of turning around. Miami did that too, around the area where the cruise ships are, and
Hmm.
all that whole boardwalk area around where the cruise ships were. They redeveloped it into shops and hotels and restaurants and everything, and it became a destination place for people, especially if they were going to go on a cruise.
Oh, 100%. That's like I was saying about the Detroit Riverwalk. The Detroit
Yeah,
Riverwalk, you had a block here and a block here. Now it's all connected. It's beautiful. There's splash pads. You get to look at Canada. They've got shops, they've got pop-up food trucks. You got the brewery right there. It's cool. I don't know how long you want to hang out there after a concert at night still, but it's a well guarded area, policed
right.
area, even at night. But it's, and then you go out of the Riverwalk and you're like, okay, there's Ford Field, there's Comerica Park, the Fox Theater, there's Hockey Town, there's Ma's Spaghetti, and it's like, you've got a place now. This is an entertainment. Yes, it's small, but before we would go to a Tigers game, or I mean, forget the old Tiger Stadium, you go to Comerica Park
Yeah,
and you'd be like, all right, everything's done. You get out of a concert at the Fox Theater, there wasn't even any food. You had to leave Detroit to eat. It didn't make any sense.
yeah. It it's amazing, and also, and I mean, we are ambassadors for our area here, and what Tupps is doing is just the beginning of what's
Sure.
happening in our area of the country. It's just exploding with a lot of entertainment, and I'm just so happy to keep saying that it's family friendly
It is. It
entertainment
is.
and stuff. That is so much to do, and it's growing leaps and bounds. I mean, that of course that means more traffic in
It
all
is.
the area, but
Well, and that's what Frisco is facing now, downtown Main Street as they try to renovate, finally try to renovate.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
you know, they're going to face some issues. I'm seeing it already.
yeah,
I'm excited about what they're doing, and I'm optimistically cautious about some other things. But again, yes, of course, growth brings traffic. Of course, but if you've got plan for it and the infrastructure, and I think when I look at Tupps and I see the different roads that are going into Tupps and that entertainment area, and I see the houses that are still there and they're not being messed with. It's interesting. It looks like they've planned it pretty well. Everybody, the city and the people involved. We'll see. But for now, it's exciting, and keep an eye on it.
and it started with, what was it, three or four brothers or something, or friends that
Well,
got
you got a great family there that loves beer and loves art and Austin and bike riding and
and had a great idea.
phenomenal. And think about their beer being in the garage. It's a family brewery. That's the thing. Like, it is a family brewery. They're the main four for the most part that are involved. They're family, and now they're definitely
Yeah.
family, whether it's by blood or by beer.
Yeah, and even though they're 100 times bigger than they were when they started and all, they're
Oh man,
still operating it like a family business, and that's
it's
the
really
upside.
cool.
That's
Look,
that.
I know that at any given time, I could text Keith and be like, "Hey, I got to talk to you." And I'm going to hear back from him.
Yeah.
And it's been that way since the beginning. Sometimes people grow and you don't get to see them as much.
Yeah.
You don't get to communicate. I know for a fact I could text them and be like, yo, I got a situation here, and it'd be fine.
Yeah. Hey, look, maybe they'll expand and they'll put in a radio studio and they'll invite Trash Talk to come in and do their episodes from Tupps Brewery.
Man, I think we can. There's a lot of opportunity there. I don't know if they'll put a studio in there, but there's an upper deck area. We
Yeah.
coined it the HEB Skybox, but that's just what we said.
Maybe we'll do a show from there sometime.
Well, you can do it. Like when I'm there drinking, all these ideas come out. So
All right. So we'll head over there and we'll come up with some more ideas. And you all come back and join us again next Tuesday, okay? Go on, make it a good one.
See you later,
Bye.
guys.